Hey, this tutorial will show you how to create an illustration based on a photograph. So as you can see, I'm going to use the Wacom Tablet in my tutorial, and I'm going to start by using this reference here. So our target image in the project would be this illustration here, and I'm zooming in, and if you notice, it has really a realistic pen calligraphic effect. So anyway, let's start by deleting that. Oops, just going to ungroup that, and I'm going to delete this whole thing, and we'll start with this. So what I did here, actually the original object doesn't have transparency in it, and if you're doing this project and you want to trace it, it's better to have a faded background or faded source object rather than a opaque one. So you click on the bitmap, and then you go to your transparency, and in transparency you go to uniform, and you can adjust the transparency. Let's say I want 69%. Okay. It's also a good idea to lock the object, so click on the bitmap and you go arrange lock objects. Now, so that when you're locking the object, you won't accidentally move your source object. Okay. Now, we already discussed about, in my previous tutorial, we already discussed about the layers, the use of layers in a drawing so that it's easier to edit. Okay. So now if you want to create the layers, you go to Tools, Object Manager, and this will be the layers. And this is layer 1, so I'm going to call this this layer the source layer. Okay, so I'm going to double click or right mouse click and rename. It's going to go source, okay, which is the photograph, and I click on new here, new layer, and I'll name that lines. Okay, so I'm going to separate all the lines, and then I click on new again. I'll put there shade, or no, I'm going to put there fill, so the colors, and I'm going to put another one as maybe shade or shadows. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here. Okay. So the first layer would be source, which is actually this is already in the source, and lines. Now for the lines, I'm going to move it up, the highest layer, the very top layer. So I click and drag there. So my lines, and then the shadows, that's fine. And the fill would be the base color. So that would be the second to the last layer. Okay, so we are ready to draw. So we're going to the lines. So you click on lines, and then if you don't want your other layers to be accidentally moved, so you just click on this one. It means to say we're locking these 1, 2, 3 layers, so we only have lines, the lines layer. Okay, so I'm going to start with the eyes. So I click on my artistic media, and this is my favorite ones, but you can also experiment with this, or whatever you want. I'll try this one here, and then I normally go to the to the thinnest width, smallest width, which is 0.03 of an inch. Okay, now I can start drawing. So basically the principle is just tracing over the photograph. So we're going to start with the eyes. Okay, it's best to zoom in here. So I'm click here again, 0.3, and then I'm going to, okay, I'm going to draw. Okay. Okay, since it's a drawing, so it's your line should be natural. Okay, so now I'm gonna draw this one there, and then I'm going to draw this. Okay, now let's just stop here. Now if you want to make it a black color, you see, you highlight it and click on black, right? And if you notice, it really looks like it's a painted drawing. See, you got all the transparent lines, which is really nice. And if you go to your view and click on wireframe, you would notice that we were not even using any bitmap. We're just using all vector image, which is great. So that once you enlarge it 1,000 times, the resolution won't change. Anyway, okay, so now we'll go to the eyebrows. So okay, like I said, it's an illustration, so we'll just, you know, as much as possible will be natural. Okay, so be natural in your strokes, and just going to select that, make it black. Okay, and let's go to the other eye here, F3 if you want to zoom out. Okay, so what do we have here? So we go, there's another eyebrow there, black. Okay, so I'm going to select that, make it black. Okay, now we'll just concentrate on these eyes here. So I'm going to trace that. So it's a matter of just tracing. Select that, black. So we some more. Very nice. Okay, I love that brush because it's really natural. Okay, now zoom out. So we have that, and we're going to start with the nose here. Now, like I said, it's just an illustration, so it's not really, we're not really making it very realistic. So in here, I also noticed once you're drawing with the Wacom Bamboo, the strokes, you lessen the lifting of the pen, especially when you're drawing, and it would have a nice effect. Like for example here, see, I didn't lift the pen, just minimize the lifting of the pen. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to select that, make it black. I'll do some more here. Make it black. Okay. Okay, now I'm just going to do some So hit F4. Okay, now then you can, I'll start with the ears here. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to start with the hair. So first I'm just gonna outline his head. I'll stop there. Okay. And then I'll just roughly draw or put lines on the hair. The black, make this black too. Black. Gotta add more lines. Okay. Now let's just stop there. Now we'll continue the lines here. So basically you're just tracing it there. I'm going to make the neckline here. And there's some shadow here, so I'm just going to darken that. Okay, let's add more lines there. There. So hit F4. Zoom in. Add some more of the eyebrows here. Okay, so now, F3. Now if you want to see just the lines, you go to your layers here and just turn off, hide the source, because source is the one that we have the image. See? Okay. Turn off and then on. Okay. Now, this is just minimal lines, but I'm fine with that, so I'm just going to continue with his suit. So I'm going to go this way. So minimize the lifting of the pen once you are already in the drawing mode, like for example that. And here, just won't draw the microphone. I'm just going to eliminate that. Tie and just make some lines there. There. Okay, so I'm just going to darken this. Maybe not. Okay. There. Very nice strokes. Okay. And maybe something like that. So I'm gonna color this black and then F4 to view the whole thing. Okay. So turn off the say you want to turn off the source, hide it. That's pretty good. Okay. Now I'll just see if I can. Okay, now we already have the source. Now what I'm going to do now, we don't need the source anymore, so what I'll do, I'll just hide the source, and then we'll work on the fill. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck that, remove the locking of the fill, and I'm going to lock the lines now, but I'll just leave the fill activated. So now I'm going to go to my, I can also use the Bezier tool, or I can use the polyline. Okay, for this one I'm gonna use the Bezier tool just to show you that we can use that in this. So I go to Bezier tool, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just make a shape. Okay, so I'm just going to, since it's a black and white one, I'm doing skin tone. Okay, so I'm just connecting the dots here. Okay, dots. Okay. Okay, then I lock. Once it's close, you can see that. Okay, so now I'm going to, let's say that's the skin tone here, like that. Okay. And now we're going to put some white in the eyes, so we are still in the fill layer. So I'm going to create, see what I'm doing, just creating the shape there, and I'll make it white there, and I'm going to remove the outline. Click on none there. Now I'm going to delete the outline too of the first time we did, so none there. Okay, now we'll work on this other eye here. So basically you just connect the dots. Okay, and then make it white, and I'm going to remove the outline. Okay, so zoom out to F4. Okay, now for the lips, I'm just going to make a, okay, so we're going to, and then you know that it's gonna close. If you see the arrow there, then that one's a closed path now. Okay, so we're going to make it a darker shade for the lips and remove the outline. Okay, maybe what I'll do, I'll just put another object. Okay, another fill. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make that white, or maybe 10% black. There, hit F4. Okay, now for the hair, same thing, Bezier tool. I'm still in the fill, I'm still in my fill layer. Okay, and then I'll close and just make it darker, and then I'm going to remove the outline. F4. Okay, so it's looking good now. So same thing with the suit. Okay. Okay, I'll make it darker. Okay, since the fill layer is under the lines, so you're not really afraid that it would go over, okay, because it's below. And you can always go to your shape tool to adjust the shape. Okay, hit F4. So it's looking good. Now just for the tie. Now let's go to a different approach. Let's go to polyline. Okay, polyline. When you click on polyline and then you click on auto close curve, you make a shape so it's always closed. Double click and then you can make a shade. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in the necktie here. Okay, so I go to polyline and then I just trace the tie there and double click, and then I'll fill that with a darker color and remove the outline. Yeah. Okay, now, and then let's say, and then I'll unlock the unlock the shadow and then lock the fill. And then let's say I go back to my polyline, and then let's say here I want to make it a darker shade here. So I'm just going to trace this. Okay, I'm in my polyline mode. Okay, so double click and I'll zoom in here, and then I can always edit the lines. Okay, so I can put black, right, and then remove the outline, none. I can go to my transparency tool, and that's my transparency tool, and then click and drag like that. So something like that. Okay, so it's really up to you on how to, or maybe you want to make it, you know, like here, make a shadow, double click, remove the outline, and then you can go to your transparency, click and drag. Okay, zoom in, and you can edit some lines here. Okay. So do it from here. Double click. Go to, then remove the outline. Again, it's an illustration, so working fast is better so that it's more natural, like your lines. Okay, so now if you want to put more details on the suit, so it's the same concept. I'll go to shadow here, and I'm going to go to my polyline, and I suggest to click on auto close curve. So then I'm just going to trace this. Okay, and just double click, and I'll just make the darker shade. Let's say, or I can make it black, and then remove the outline, and I click on transparency tool, click and drag wherever you want to put the transparency. Okay, so I'll do it with this one too. Okay, double click, hit black, transparency, click and drag here. There. And yeah, so I hit F4 to view the whole thing. Okay, now if I want to put a background, so I'll just have something in the clipboard. Okay, so I'll just paste that. Okay, so I hit F4. Okay, so this is my background. So I'm gonna put that as a background. Okay, I'm going to move. Now, if you want to move an object to one layer, so for example here it's in shadows, but I don't want it shadows. I want it to in the source, which is this one. No, actually not source. I'm gonna move it to the fill. So I click this one and then move, going to the fill. See, it goes to the fill. So now it's in the fill layer. So I click on arrange, order to back of page, so I can have the background there. Just gonna stylize that background. Okay. Now the problem here is that this one, the shirt is transparent. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a white object. So I'm still in my, I'll go to my fill. Okay, so that's my fill layer. So I'll create an object and I'll make it white so that it won't be transparent. Okay, doesn't matter if it goes over. Double click, I'll make it white and move this to back, arrange, order to back of page. I click on the image, the background, and I'll put order to back of page. There. I remove the outline of that. Okay, so F4. Okay. Then I can also stylize the background by clicking on the background, which is a bitmap. And then let's say I'm going to make a blur, Gaussian blur, and click on preview there. It's too much blur. There. Click OK. Okay. I have some things to fix, like for example this one. So I click on I think I'm in the fill. So I'm in the fill and I'm going to adjust it. Go to your shape tool. I'm going to adjust some of my layers. Okay. The good thing too in lines, so if I go to lines here, I unlock that. See this line here, let's say I'm not happy with it. I can go to my shape tool, because since it's vector image, so I can go to the shape tool and reshape it there, or double click to make another node and just fix the lines. Double click there, hit F4. There, I was able to fix it. So that ends the tutorial. So you have a stylized illustration using the Wacom tablet.